Hi, I'm Suella. I'm keen to find out your views and what you're protesting about.
Nothing at all?
I really want to say that I think it's great, actually, that you went to that camp today and tried to talk to those students, and you kind of embarrassed yourself, I would say, whilst doing that.
Would you say
Not
that
just
Israel
October
has a
7th.
right to defend itself?
Israel does not have the right to do what it is doing right now, which is a genocide, which is the criminal enslavement and trapping people in certain places and then saying, you've got to move somewhere else. The ongoing invasion of Rafah that has been spoken about today, the displacement of millions of people, of course they don't have the right to do that, and no one thinks they do.
Right.
And you posing those questions is exactly what makes students in Cambridge think, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to talk to any war criminal, I want to grow this encampment, I want to grow a movement.
It's quite strong stuff. I mean, as far
criminal.
Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah, you are a war criminal.
So you have seen a viral video of Suella Braverman, former Home Secretary, going around the encampment in Cambridge University, the encampment that is taking place in solidarity with the victims of Palestine against the ongoing genocide by Israeli terrorists in Gaza. So she was accompanied by, this was all orchestrated by GB News. So GB News reporter was accompanying her, and they apparently, or they seemingly wanted to interact with those protesting students, although the hidden agenda, was nothing of that sort. The hidden agenda was to expose those students and endanger their future, as has been the case. That anybody who is expressing solidarity with Palestinians, must have consequences, must bear consequences. We have seen both in America and we have seen in this country as well. What was so satisfying, what was so soothing was the fact that none of the students, not a single student, agreed to entertain her request for conversation.
Now, quite often you'll see that they don't seem particularly intent on showing their faces. I don't know if you might be able to engage with people. Hello, just wondering if you'd like to have any kind of discussion at all with Suella today?
Hi, I'm Suella. I'm keen to find out your views and what you're protesting about.
Nothing at all? No?
Interested in why you're covering your faces. Is it a COVID or a health measure? No comment.
No? Can I just ask, are you students at the university or just from around the area? Nothing? No? No, fine. Okay, interesting. Yeah. And what were you expecting? Did you think that maybe people might engage a little bit with you? They feel very strongly about it.
These are supposed to be some of the brightest and the best students in the land, and taught in the art of articulating their views and expressing arguments in a coherent way. And I'm interested in hearing their arguments.
Yeah? Anyone?
Engaging and listening.
What would be your main question to some of the individuals?
I'm really keen to hear what your message is to Israel.
No. Nothing.
Interested to hear your message to Hamas.
No comment. Okay.
Do you think the hostages should be released now?
Not really.
No.
Is there?
No,
Oh,
they're
hey, we keep walking.
Not very.
Don't know if you
Not
would like to
very
have a quick chat with us, sir, at all today?
Hi there.
Go on.
Very nice. I'm Suella. Can I ask you what your message is to Israel?
Yep.
Right. Can I ask you what your message is to Hamas? Silence.
Guys, anyone willing to just explain a couple of bits and bobs? What you guys are doing here, why it's so important to you, what the demands are, or anything? No?
Although if you look at this 2-minute plus video, you can see that she, being a slimy character that she is, she's trying her best to provoke them. First of all, asking why their face is covered. So she essentially is not concerned whether they have the health reason or any other reason. Her concern is that why is their identity not revealed? Their identities must be revealed so that she can use her Zionist contact and power and clout to get them punished in whichever universities that they are studying in. In this case, Cambridge University. You can imagine how slimy she is. And there is a reason. there is a reason why none of those students trusted what Suella Braverman had to say. She said, do you have any message for Israel? If they have any message for Israel, why would they want to convey it through a compromised character like Suella? So the intention was not that. Intention was to provoke them to do something so that she has her agenda fulfilled. She can go around the town saying that, look how bad these people are, and reveal their identity so that they all face consequences going forward. So the reason why they did not trust Suella, or they would not trust anybody from this current establishment, is simply because of their pedigree. You only have to look at what Suella had to say in the last month alone in Parliament. In the last month alone, she made 2 interventions in House of Commons. First, on 29th of April, when she appeared more concerned than even Israelis that Britain must not stop its support to Israel whenever it launches its military action in Rafah. Imagine, at the same time, she made that intervention at the time when even Americans were warning Israelis. At least, publicly, they were warning Israelis not to enter Rafah. But she was literally pleading and wanting assurance from her own government, that her own government should give her assurance that whenever Israel launches military strikes in Rafah, the UK would continue to support Israel.
Speaker, I was in Israel earlier this year and met with senior IDF personnel who assured me that they are doing everything within their power, working with allies to increase aid to Gaza. It's the right thing to do. We must continue those efforts. But what's also patently clear is that Hamas is obstructing the distribution of aid within Gaza. Another reason we need to support Israel to defeat Hamas. Will the Minister assure the House that if and when Israel goes into Rafah, where we know that several Hamas battalions remain, senior Hamas operatives are based, that UK and the hostages, thank you, that UK support remains resolute and steadfast as we support Israel to finish this job and eliminate Hamas?
That was on 29th of April. On 7th of May, she made the similar intervention.
Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday, Mr. Speaker, I met with survivors of the Nova Festival massacre. I met with people who had fought single-handedly for hours in Israel on October the 7th against brutal Hamas terrorists. Mr. Speaker, we all want peace. We all want to see the end of civilian fatalities, but sometimes countries must fight for peace. Israel has a right to defend herself and a duty to protect her people from the brutal terrorist cult of Hamas. Minister, will you confirm that the UK government will maintain steadfast and resolute support for Israel as she finishes the job to eliminate Hamas from Gaza?
So there's a history, and I'm not referring to her personal life, that she is married to a Zionist and how she has proudly flaunted her association with her Zionist husband in the past. She just doesn't come across as a trustworthy character, and we have seen her conduct in the parliament in the last few years, and particularly in the Gaza conflict. We know where these politicians' loyalty lies. So anyway, GB News finally managed to find somebody who could come to their studio and speak to Suella Braverman. Her name is Fiona Lali. You have to watch, first of all, this, the brief excerpts of that interview. What was the highlight? Highlight was that Fiona Lali, a young student, having the courage to tell Suella on her face that she is a war criminal. And she explains why those students did not meet her, because they did not want to entertain any war criminal. Suella did her best to compromise the future of this young student, Fiona Lali, by asking her useless question as to what you think of Hamas, because she knows that Hamas is a proscribed terrorist organization in this country. So let's draw her into talking something in support of Hamas, so that, then we can take punitive action against these individuals. That's exactly what the game that Piers Morgan plays on his TV channel, and that's exactly the game that the likes of Suella Braverman plays. But then hats off to this young student. The reply she comes up with. She had absolutely no desire to be drawn into the game that Suella Braverman wanted to play. And she used that platform to embarrass this Zionist, embarrass this pro-Israeli propagandist.
This week commemorates the Nakba, which took place 76 years ago, which means catastrophe, which is a massive symbol of what Israel has been doing for the last 76 years. This isn't about October the 7th. And to start with that is just entirely disingenuous, I think, on your part. I really want to say that I think it's great, actually, that you went to that camp today and tried to talk to those students. And you kind of embarrassed yourself, I would say, whilst doing that, because it was a reminder for me, and I'm sure for other people watching, that actually the Palestine movement brought you down, and the Palestine movement has the potential to bring down lots of other Tory ministers and the whole Tory government, and not just the Tory government, I would say any government and any mainstream political party that is backing what Israel is doing right now, which is a genocide. You want to cut pensions, you want to cut council budgets. That's what the government that you support is doing, which is causing serious suffering in this country as well.
So this is not to do with Hamas, it's not to do with Israel,
linked,
this is about the Conservative government. Is this an anti-Conservative?
You're bringing up Hamas. Of course we're anti-Conservative, because the Conservative government is facilitating and supporting a genocide.
Would you say that Israel has a right to defend itself?
Israel does not have the right to do what it is doing right now, which is a genocide, which is the criminal enslavement and trapping people in certain places and then saying, you've got to move somewhere else. The ongoing invasion of Rafah that has been spoken about today, the displacement of millions of people, of course they don't have the right to do that, and no one thinks they do. And you posing those questions is exactly what makes students in Cambridge think, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to talk to any war criminal, I want to grow this encampment, I want to grow a movement.
Well, it's quite strong stuff. I mean, as far
criminal.
Yeah, I mean, so
yeah, you are a war criminal.
She called her on her face that she is a war criminal, she is a genocide enabler. And as you can see, she had no option, Suella had no option but to face that embarrassment. You know, these people cannot be taken seriously. As we speak, we know a video of Anthony Blinken, US Secretary of State, going viral, where he is in Kiev. This American regime, current American regime, led by Joe Biden, would want us to believe that they care about Ukrainian people. Rubbish. They don't care about Ukrainian people. They just care about their dollars. They just care about their fulfilling their master's interests. If they cared about Ukrainian people, this idiot called Anthony Blinken would not be dancing and playing guitar in a Ukrainian nightclub at a time when tens of thousands of people are suffering in Ukraine. At a time when more than 35,000 people have been killed brutally by Israel in Gaza, and at a time when Israelis continue to slaughter innocent people in Rafah. So clearly, you know, I was going to say that these people are worse than animals, but that would be being disrespectful to animals, because animals, even animals, have more compassion than these warmongers like Anthony Blinken and Suella Braverman and their cronies and the people of the community. I mean, we knew their true colors, didn't we? But the more we watch their shenanigans, the more we watch their public display, the more we become convinced that these people are modern days monsters, unfortunately, ruling the countries where we live in. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.